Ravi walked slowly across the silent surface of the forgotten moon. His boots pressed into the fine gray dust that covered everything like a soft blanket. Above him, the sky was a deep shade of blue-black, sprinkled with bright stars that never blinked. The moon had no clouds, no noise, no wind strong enough to move anything. It was a place lost in time. Ravi had been sent by the Exploration Guild to check an old research base that once belonged to an advanced species. The base was abandoned many years ago after a collapse in its energy system. Most people believed there was nothing left inside except broken machines and old memories. But the guild still wanted one final check. Ravi did not mind. He liked quiet places. The silence helped him think. He enjoyed exploring the unknown. The idea that somewhere, hidden behind a wall or under a panel, he might find something important always brought him excitement. As he approached the ruined entrance of the base, he lifted his scanner. A soft blue light moved over the surface of the walls. The structure was damaged, yet some sections still held strong. The doors were stuck halfway open, leaving a narrow gap. He took a deep breath, stepped sideways, and slid into the darkness inside. The temperature dropped the moment he entered. The air felt cooler, almost cold. His helmet adjusted automatically, keeping him comfortable. The hallway was long and covered in dust. Small pieces of broken glass and wires lay on the floor. The lights in the ceiling flickered weakly, trying to come back to life but failing again and again. Ravi moved slowly, shining his hand light at the doors he passed. Each room he peeked into told the same story. Old screens dead, chairs overturned, tables empty, tools rusted. It was clear no one had lived here for many years. Still, something felt strange. Usually abandoned bases felt lifeless. This one felt quiet, yes, but not empty, like a place holding its breath. Ravi checked his scanner again. No sign of creatures, no movement. No heat source, only silence. But he kept walking deeper into the base. His footsteps echoed softly. Every few minutes, a tiny sound, a drip, a crack, a faint hum, made him turn, but each time he found only shadows. After nearly 20 minutes, he reached a large control chamber. The doors were broken apart, leaving a wide opening. Inside, the room was circular with panels along the walls and a raised platform in the center. Screens were shattered, lights dark, yet something faint glowed near the back. A soft white light pulsed like a slow heartbeat. Ravi walked toward it. As he drew near, he noticed a capsule-like pod, transparent and cracked but still holding a dim glow. Dust covered its edges, yet the center of the pod was strangely clean, as if something inside kept brushing it away. He leaned closer, raising his light. Inside the pod lay a girl. She was not human. Her skin had a gentle silver tone, smooth and faintly reflective. Her hair fell softly around her, shining like strands of glass touched by moonlight. Her eyes were closed, but her chest moved slightly, showing she was still alive. Ravi froze, his heart beat quicker. He had never seen anyone like her before. She did not match any species he knew from the database. She looked peaceful yet fragile, like a fading star in the night sky. He lifted his scanner and checked. The readings were weak but clear. She still had life inside her, but it was low, almost fading away. Suddenly, a faint sound broke the silence. It was not a machine. It was not a glitch. It was a voice. A soft, wavering voice. Help, please. Ravi looked around. No one else was there. He turned back to the pod. The girl's lips had moved slightly. He was not imagining it. She spoke again, a little stronger this time. Take me with you, or leave me to fade here. I cannot stay alone any longer. Ravi stepped closer, shocked but calm. He had faced unexpected things before, though nothing this unusual. He knelt beside the pod. His voice was gentle. Can you hear me? I'm here to help. The girl's eyelids lifted slowly, revealing bright green eyes with a soft glow. They looked tired, full of longing and fear, yet hopeful. She focused on Ravi as if trying to understand who or what he was. Her voice trembled as she answered. Yes, I hear you. What is your name? He asked quietly. Lyra. Her voice was weak. My name is Lyra. Ravi nodded. I'm Ravi. I came here to explore. I didn't expect to find someone alive. Lyra's eyes softened. You did not come for me. Yet you found me. Ravi did not know what to say. She was right. He had no plan for this, no preparation. But he also knew one thing clearly. He could not leave her behind. He examined the pod more closely. The life support systems were nearly dead. The energy cell was empty. The cracks in the pod were growing. If he left her even an hour longer, she might not survive. "How long have you been here?" he asked softly. Lyra took a slow breath before answering. "I do not know. I lost track of time after the first year. My people left in haste. The systems failed. I was here, waiting for someone to hear me." Ravi felt a deep heaviness in his chest. Waiting in silence for so long, alone in this cold place, not knowing if anyone would ever come. It was a kind of loneliness he could not imagine. He touched the side of the pod gently. "I won't leave you. I promise." Lyra looked at him with surprise. Many promised things before, but promises fade. People forget. "I won't forget," Ravi said firmly. "I will take you with me." Her eyes glimmered, a mix of relief and doubt. She wanted to believe him, but she had been alone too long to trust easily. Ravi studied the pod's locks and energy units. The machine was old, but the release system still worked. He tapped a panel and the pod gave a soft click. The top opened slightly, letting a thin line of cool air flow out. Light dust floated upward. Lyra's breath deepened as fresh air reached her. Her body trembled, not from fear, but from the sudden change. Ravi reached out his hand. "Can you move, or do you want me to help you?" Lyra looked at his hand, then at his face. She hesitated, not because she did not want help, but because she was unsure if she could accept it. Her life had been shaped by loss and abandonment. Trust was not easy, but something in Ravi's calm eyes made her believe, even if only a little. She lifted her hand slowly. It shook. Her fingers barely touched his. Ravi held her hand gently, steadying her, helping her sit up. Her body was light, and he could feel how weak she was. She had been surviving on almost no energy. When she sat upright, her hair fell around her shoulders like soft threads of light. She struggled to stand, her legs trembling. Ravi quickly moved to support her, one hand at her back. "Easy," he said kindly. "You're safe now. Safe." The word felt strange to Lyra, as if she had forgotten its meaning, but she liked how he said it. Ravi helped her step out of the pod. Her feet touched the floor for the first time in a long while. She swayed, and he caught her again. "Thank you," she whispered. Ravi looked around the room once more. The place was falling apart. Cracks in the ceiling, broken pillars, flickering lights. This base would not survive much longer. He tightened his grip around Lyra and said, "Let's get you out of here." She nodded weakly, leaning slightly against him. It was the first time she allowed herself to depend on someone in years. As they walked through the empty hallway, the lights flickered more than before, as if the base knew its last living soul was leaving. Lyra looked around softly. "I used to walk these halls when they were full of light," she said quietly. "My people worked here. We studied the stars, learned new things, shared stories. It was a happy place once." Ravi did not interrupt her. He listened with respect. Lyra continued, her voice low. "When things went wrong, we tried to fix everything, but the base failed faster than we could repair it. The storms came. The energy systems collapsed. Everyone evacuated. I was injured. I could not reach the exit in time. When I woke again, the halls were silent." Ravi felt her pain, not in a dramatic way, but in a deep, quiet way. Loneliness like that could break anyone. He squeezed her hand gently. "You're not alone now." Lyra stared at him, her green eyes shining with a soft, emotional light. She seemed to study him, as if trying to understand how someone so different from her could show such kindness. As they reached the exit, a soft wind touched them. It carried the cold scent of dust and stars. Lyra stepped outside, looking at the sky above. She had not seen the open sky in years. Her eyes widened and her breath caught. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Ravi smiled. "Yes, and you'll see many more skies after this." He guided her toward his ship, a small but sturdy vessel standing near the rocks. Its lights glowed warmly, like a safe shelter after a long storm. Lyra paused at the ramp, turning to look at the ruins one last time. She felt no anger, only quiet sadness and relief. That chapter of her life was closing. Ravi waited, giving her time. When she finally turned back to him, her voice was steady. "I'm ready," he helped her into the ship. The doors closed behind them, sealing out the cold, lonely moon. For the first time in a long time, Lyra felt hope. For the first time, she believed she might have a future again. The soft hum of Ravi's ship filled the cabin as it lifted from the moon's surface. The engines glowed with a steady light, pushing them upward until the gray landscape faded beneath a blanket of stars. Inside, the air felt warm and safe compared to the cold ruins they had just escaped. Lyra sat gently in one of the cushioned seats, wrapped in a light thermal blanket. Her body still trembled from exhaustion, but the warmth and quiet comfort of the ship helped her breathe easier. Her eyes followed the view outside as the moon grew smaller, then disappeared behind the curve of a distant planet. Ravi took the pilot's seat and turned slightly toward her. "Are you comfortable?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, the air here feels kind. I had forgotten how warmth feels." Ravi smiled gently. "That's good. You need rest. Your body has been without proper energy for a long time." She looked at him with curiosity. "Humans speak gently. At least you do." He shrugged lightly as if he did not realize he was doing anything special. "I just want you to feel safe. That's all." Lyra held on to his words quietly. Safe. She let the words sink into her heart. For so many years, safety had been an idea, not a reality. But here with this human, it felt real. The ship glided through open space. Stars passed like tiny dots of silver, and distant nebulae glowed with soft colors. Lyra watched everything with wide eyes. She had dreamed of seeing the stars again, but she never imagined she truly would. After a few minutes, Ravi returned from the control panel carrying a small container. It held water, clean and cool. He held it out. "Drink slowly. You need it." Lyra reached for the container, but her fingers trembled. Ravi noticed and held it steady while she took a small sip. The water felt like life flowing into her. She closed her eyes and breathed deeply. "Thank you," she whispered. Ravi set the container beside her. "You don't have to thank me. It's normal to help someone who needs help." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Normal for you, maybe, but not for everyone." Ravi had no answer for that. He simply smiled faintly and returned to the pilot's seat. Lyra watched him with quiet curiosity. His calmness was comforting. His voice was gentle but steady. He moved with purpose but not with aggression. She wondered what kind of world raised someone like him. After a while, Ravi spoke again. "Do you want to tell me more about your people? Only if you feel comfortable?" Lyra hesitated. Memories stirred inside her. Some were warm, some were painful, but something in Ravi's tone made her feel she could share her story without fear. "My people are called the Solari," she began softly. "We lived across many planets and moons. We believed in learning, in understanding the universe without harming it. Our cities were bright. Our skies were filled with lights from our towers. We were peaceful." She paused. Her eyes dimmed slightly, until the enemy came. Ravi turned his chair slightly, giving her his full attention. "We never knew why they attacked," Lyra continued. "They appeared without warning. Their ships surrounded our planets like a dark cloud. They destroyed our towers and captured many of our people. We tried to defend ourselves, but we were not ready for such violence. We were not built for war." Her voice softened, almost breaking. "When the moon base started failing, the storms grew worse. The energy shields fell. Everyone evacuated in a hurry. I was hurt during the collapse of one of the upper halls. I could not move fast enough. I fell behind." Ravi's jaw tightened slightly. "And no one returned for you?" Lyra shook her head slowly. "They thought I was lost, or perhaps they had no time to look. I want to believe they were afraid for themselves and not heartless. But waiting alone for so long, it changes what you believe." Her words drifted into silence. Ravi did not respond right away. He knew pain carried its own weight, and rushing words into it made it heavier. Finally, he said softly, "You survived because you are strong, not because you were forgotten." Lyra looked at him with surprise. She had never thought of it that way. Strong. The word felt new. Before she could respond, the ship beeped quietly. Ravi checked the monitor. "We're moving into safer space now. No storms, no enemies. You can rest without worry." Lyra leaned back slowly, letting her body sink into the seat. But her mind stayed awake. She watched Ravi as he shifted the controls, checked screens, and navigated through the star field. "Why did you help me?" she asked suddenly. Ravi blinked. The question seemed simple to him, but her eyes showed it meant much more to her. "Because you needed help," he answered calmly. Lyra frowned slightly. "That is not enough for most people." "Maybe not," Ravi admitted. "But I don't think helping someone should need a complicated reason. You were alone. You were scared? You were alive? That's enough for me, Lyra stared at him. She had never met a human before. She had heard stories of them, strong, determined, sometimes aggressive, but also capable of great compassion. Ravi seemed to be the proof of the more hopeful stories. She felt warmth spread through her chest, a soft warmth she did not fully understand. Ravi stood. You should rest for a while. There's a small room down the hallway. The bed is simple, but it's warm and soft. Lyra hesitated. She was not used to closed spaces anymore. Ravi noticed her hesitation. If you want, you can stay in this cabin. I can adjust the lights and temperature here. You don't have to be alone. Lyra nodded slowly. I will stay here, all right, Ravi said. You can rest in the seat for now. If you need anything, just tell me. Lyra settled into the seat as Ravi dimmed the cabin light slightly. A soft golden glow remained, giving the room a peaceful atmosphere. As the minutes passed, Lyra's breathing softened. Her body relaxed. She watched Ravi from half-closed eyes. He was focused on the controls, but from time to time he looked back to check on her. It touched her heart in a way she could not describe. Later, Ravi moved to the back of the ship to prepare a small meal. It was simple human food, but he picked things that were gentle on the stomach. When he returned, Lyra opened her eyes slowly. You did not sleep, he said softly. She gave a weak smile. I was listening. The ship's sounds are new to me, but peaceful. He handed her a small bowl. Try this. It might help your strength return. Lyra took the bowl with shaking hands. The warmth from it spread through her fingers. She tasted a small spoonful. The flavor was mild but comforting. More warmth spread through her body. She finished slowly, savoring each bite. When she was done, she bowed her head. Thank you again, Ravi smiled. You really don't need to thank me every time. Lyra looked down. It is hard not to. I have not received kindness for so long. When someone finally gives it, the heart wants to hold it close. Ravi felt a quiet heaviness inside. He could not imagine the loneliness she had lived through. He sat across from her. Lyra, listen. You're safe here. Not because you owe me anything. Not because you must thank me. You're safe because you deserve to be safe. Lyra blinked. Her eyes shimmered with emotion. She breathed in slowly as if trying to steady the feeling rising in her chest. Deserve. The word felt heavy, meaningful. She had never thought of herself that way. The ship continued through the endless dark, its engines humming softly. Outside, the stars stretched across the sky like a glowing river. After some time, Lyra spoke again. What will happen now? Where will we go? Ravi leaned back. I know a quiet planet nearby, peaceful, safe, no danger. You can rest there while we figure out what you want next. Lyra thought for a moment. And you, where will you go? Ravi chuckled softly. Same place. Someone has to make sure you're okay. Lyra looked at him, confused. You would stay just to watch over me? Ravi nodded. Of course. Lyra's chest tightened, not with fear, but with something warm and unfamiliar. She had been saved, protected, listened to, given care without condition, she whispered. You are different from the stories. What stories? Ravi asked. Stories of humans. We heard they were brave, but also very cold. Careful only about their own, but you saved a stranger. Ravi smiled softly. Humans can be many things. I just choose to be someone who helps. Lyra looked down at her hands. They still shook slightly, but less than before. She whispered, I am glad you came to the ruins. If it was someone else, maybe they would have walked away. Ravi shook his head. I wouldn't have. No matter who you were. Lyra stared at him, her eyes softening. Something deep in her heart shifted. For the first time since she was abandoned, she felt a gentle sense of belonging. Gradually, the exhaustion in her body pulled her eyes closed. Ravi dimmed the lights further and adjusted a small blanket around her. Sleep, Lyra, he whispered. You're safe now. Her breathing grew slow and steady. Her face relaxed. The tension she held for years faded little by little. Ravi watched her for a moment. He felt a quiet responsibility for her now, but not the heavy kind. More like a natural instinct to protect something fragile yet important. He returned to the pilot's seat and looked out the window. The stars ahead were bright. The journey was long, but he did not mind. He was not alone anymore either. The soft morning light of a nearby star drifted through the cabin windows as Ravi guided the ship across a calm region of space. The atmosphere inside felt peaceful, warmed by gentle lights and the steady hum of engines. Lyra slept for many hours and Ravi did not disturb her. He knew her body needed time to recover and rebuild its strength. When she finally opened her eyes, she needed a moment to remember where she was. Her last memories were of ruins, darkness, and endless loneliness. Now she woke to the warmth of a blanket and the soft glow of ship lights. Ravi noticed the movement. "Good morning," he said with a gentle smile. Lyra sat up slowly. Her muscles felt stiff but stronger than the day before. "Good morning," she replied quietly. He approached her with a container of warm broth. "I made this for you. It's simple, but it might help your energy." She accepted it with both hands, feeling the warmth travel through her fingers before she tasted it. It was mild but comforting. She finished it slowly, then set the container aside. "You look better today," Ravi said. "Color is coming back to your face." Lyra lowered her head shyly. "I feel stronger. Not whole yet, but better than before." Ravi nodded, pleased. "Good. We'll reach the safe planet in a few hours. You can rest properly there." Lyra looked outside the window. Stars moved past like glowing dust. She breathed deeply, taking in the beauty of wide-open space. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence was peaceful, but inside Lyra something heavy stirred. A memory. A thought she had pushed away while she was weak. Now that she had strength again, the past returned to her mind. She held the blanket tightly and whispered, "Ravi, there is something you should know." Ravi turned toward her. His expression was calm but attentive. "All right. Tell me when you're ready." Lyra closed her eyes for a moment, gathering courage. When she opened them again, they held a deep sadness mixed with quiet determination. "Yesterday I told you a little about my people, but I did not tell you everything. I did not tell you why we were attacked, why my home fell." Ravi listened closely, sensing the weight in her voice. Lyra continued. "The enemy who attacked us, they were not strangers. They were once our friends. They lived beside us on many worlds. We shared knowledge. We traded resources. We trusted them." Her hands tightened around the blanket. Something changed in them. Something dark. They wanted control. They wanted power. And when we refused to give it, they turned against us. Ravi felt a heaviness drop into his chest. Betrayal from a friend always cut deeper than any enemy attack. Lyra spoke again, voice barely above a whisper. "When the fighting began, my people tried to protect our homes without hurting others. We believed the conflict would end soon. But we were wrong." She looked down at her trembling hands. "When the moon base began failing, the enemy ships circled around us. They attacked everything, structures, ships, research halls. Many people tried to escape. Some made it. Some did not. Her voice cracked. She clenched her jaw to steady herself. "I was injured when a beam collapsed. My people tried to protect the young and the elders first. Many rushed to the evacuation ships. I was left behind because they believed I was gone." Ravi leaned forward. "Lyra, you said before that they thought you were lost, that they did not mean to leave you." She nodded faintly. "Yes, I want to believe that." But her voice trembled again. The truth still hurt. Ravi placed a hand gently on the back of the chair beside her, not touching her, just showing support through presence. "Take your time," he said softly. Lyra breathed slowly, gathering strength. "There is more," she continued. Her green eyes met Ravi's in a steady, serious gaze. "The enemy still searches for us, for my people, for anyone who survived. If they find me, they may attack again to claim what they think belongs to them." Ravi's heart tightened. "Is that why they destroyed your home?" Lyra nodded. "They believed our technology belonged to them. They said we did not deserve it. They said they would protect it better." She looked away, eyes clouding. "And now, because you rescued me, they may follow you too." Ravi sat back slightly. Lyra watched him anxiously, afraid he would regret helping her, afraid he would pull away or grow distant. But Ravi simply shook his head. "Lyra, danger doesn't change the choice I made. I helped you because you needed help. That doesn't change now." Lyra stared at him, almost startled. "You are not afraid for myself?" "No," Ravi said truthfully. "But afraid for you a little, yes, because you've suffered enough. And I don't want more danger coming your way." Her eyes softened, touched by his worry. Ravi added quietly, "Whatever comes, we'll face it together. You're not alone anymore." Lyra looked down, overwhelmed. She pressed a hand lightly to her heart. A warmth grew there again, the same warmth she had felt the day before, but stronger now. a feeling she did not fully understand. She whispered, "Thank you, Ravi." The ship moved smoothly through the quiet of space, heading toward a peaceful blue planet ahead. Lyra watched the glowing sphere appear slowly on the screen. "What is that place?" she asked. Ravi zoomed in on the display. A quiet planet. No major cities. Just forests, small lakes, and a few research stations. Very peaceful. You can recover there without any danger. Lyra studied the planet with interest. It looked calm green and full of life. After spending years in cold ruins, the idea of fresh air and open skies felt unbelievable. "Will you stay with me?" she asked softly. "At least until I understand what to do next." Ravi nodded without hesitation. "Of course. I won't leave you alone." Lyra felt relief wash over her, but the peaceful moment did not last long. A sudden beep came from the ship's sensors. A second beep followed, louder and sharper. Ravi quickly moved to the control panel. Lyra tensed. Her body stiffened as old fear returned to her limbs. "What is it?" she asked. Ravi checked the screen. "A ship, unidentified. It appeared behind us a few minutes ago but stayed at a distance. Now it's coming closer." Lyra felt a cold shock run through her. She leaned forward quickly. "Show me the shape." Ravi enlarged the sensor image. The outline of the approaching ship appeared on the screen. Lyra gasped softly, eyes widening in fear. "I know that design. It belongs to the enemy. They used those ships during the first attacks." Ravi frowned. "How fast are they catching up?" Lyra watched the sensor readings. "Too fast. They have stronger engines than your ship." Ravi tightened his grip on the controls. "Then we won't run. I need to think. Quick." Lyra looked at him, feeling guilt settle into her chest like a heavy stone. "Ravi, I brought danger to you. I should never have asked you to take me." Ravi turned sharply. "Don't say that. You didn't bring danger, they did. And we're not giving up." Lyra shook her head. "But no but," Ravi said firmly. "You're here because you deserve to live. They have no right to chase you." Lyra stared at him, stunned by the strength in his voice. Ravi focused on the controls. His mind worked quickly, planning, adjusting routes, checking fuel levels. But the enemy ship drew closer. The sensor beeped again. Then again. The beeps became faster, showing the narrowing distance. Lyra whispered, "Ravi, they won't stop. If they see me alive, they will not leave us alone." Ravi looked at her. "Then we make sure they don't know you're alive. Hide in the storage room. Stay quiet. I'll try to talk to them." Lyra shook her head quickly. "You cannot face them alone. They will not listen. They do not trust anyone." Ravi's voice stayed steady. "I'll try anyway. You're too weak to fight or run. Please, Lyra, trust me." Lyra hesitated. Her heart pounded painfully. But she saw the determination in his eyes, the same determination that made him save her in the ruins. She stood slowly, still weak, and nodded. "I will hide, but Ravi—" "Be careful." Ravi smiled softly. "I always am." But he knew, even if he didn't say it aloud, this situation was far from safe. Lyra disappeared into the storage room, closing the door gently behind her. She sank to the floor, breathing hard. Her heart raced with fear, not for herself, but for Ravi. He returned to the pilot's chair, eyes fixed on the approaching ship now visible through the window as a dark shape in the distance. Lyra placed a hand against the door, closing her eyes tightly. "Please be safe," she whispered. Ravi steadied his breath. The enemy ship drew closer. The peaceful journey was over. The shadows of Lyra's past had caught up, and everything was about to change. The journey toward the mountain shelter continued with a quiet tension between Rin and Arin. The forest around them grew thicker, the branches twisting into long shapes that bent toward the path. Soft lights floated between the trees, almost like tiny glowing seeds drifting on an unseen wind. Rin explained that these lights were harmless, a natural energy of her world, but Arin still watched them carefully. He knew nothing on this planet could be taken lightly. Rin walked a few steps ahead of him. Her steps were graceful but heavy, as if she was tired not only in her body but also in her heart. Arin noticed it. He had seen her move with strength and precision before, but now she walked slower. Something weighed on her mind. "Rin," Arin said softly, "are you feeling all right?" She paused and looked back, her eyes shining with both worry and determination. "I am fine," she answered, but her voice had a small tremble. "I just have many thoughts." Arin walked beside her instead of behind her now. You can tell me, he said. You don't have to carry everything alone. Rin looked down at her hands. I am not used to having someone who listens, she said. My people never looked at me that way. She breathed slowly. And now my own people search for me. Maybe they want me gone. Maybe they think I betrayed them by living. Aaron felt a wave of sympathy. He wanted to reassure her, but he also wanted to be careful with his words. You didn't do anything wrong, he said. You did what you needed to survive. Anyone would do the same. Rin studied him for a long moment. Humans think like that, she whispered. But my clan believes in strict duty. If someone cannot follow every rule, they are pushed away. Aaron tried to understand her world. Even if the rule hurts someone? Yes, she replied softly. Even then. They continued walking, and the path slowly opened into a valley where wide silver grass swayed like calm waves. The mountain shelter she had spoken of was still far away, but the sky above them looked clear and the wind was gentle. It felt peaceful, but Aaron could not shake the unease growing in his chest. Rin kept glancing toward the distant rock shapes on the left side of the valley. Aaron saw it and finally asked, Are you searching for something? She hesitated but nodded. There is a gathering place nearby, she said. My people sometimes come here to check the land. If they passed through recently, we might find signs. She lowered her voice. Good signs or bad ones? I do not know, Aaron understood. She wanted answers. He agreed quietly, and they changed their path. They reached a group of tall stone pillars that rose in a circle. The stones were smooth, as if water had polished them for thousands of years. At the center of the circle, there was a flat stone platform. Rin's steps slowed as soon as they neared it. She knelt beside the platform and touched the surface gently. Something in her expression changed. Her breath caught and her eyes softened with old memories. Aaron crouched next to her. Is this place important to you? Yes, she whispered. This is where young members of my clan learn about their history. Elders teach them how to understand the land and how to listen to the world's voice. Aaron stayed silent, knowing she needed to speak. Rin placed her hand on the stone again. When I was young, I wanted to learn everything, she said. But the elders said I was too curious, too different. They believed curiosity creates trouble. Aaron smiled gently. Curiosity creates discovery. You prove that. She looked at him, surprised by the warmth in his voice. Your way of thinking is strange, she said, but her tone was soft. Strange in a good way. Before Aaron could respond, Rin's attention snapped to a mark on the stone. Her body went still. Aaron saw her tail lower slightly and her ears tilt backward in worry. What is that? He asked. Rin traced a small symbol engraved on the surface. This mark means my people were here, she said. Very recently. Aaron's instincts sharpened. Do you think they followed your scent? They might have, she replied. Or they were already near this area. I cannot be sure. Aaron watched her closely. She looked torn, partly hopeful that her people were alive and close, partly afraid of what they would do if they found her. Do you want to see them? He asked quietly. Rin's eyes widened at the question. She stood still, her breath trembling. I do not know, she said. If they find me, they may blame me for surviving. They may say I abandoned them. And if they see you with me, they might misunderstand. Aaron felt a sharp jolt in his chest. I won't let anything happen to you, he said firmly. Whatever happens, we face it together. A soft warmth appeared on her face. Aaron, she whispered, you do not understand how much that means. For someone like me, those words. She paused, unable to finish. Aaron understood enough. He placed his hand near hers on the stone. Their fingers were close, not touching, but the quiet connection between them was strong. However, the moment broke when a sudden vibration trembled through the ground. Rin and Aaron stood at once. The earth shook lightly, almost like a steady heartbeat echoing from the valley's far edge. Rin looked toward the mountains. Something is coming. They climbed a nearby hill to get a clear view. When they reached the top, both of them stopped. Far in the distance, 3 figures moved across the valley. Their shapes were familiar to Rin, and her heart jumped. My people, she whispered. Aaron watched her closely. Do you want to go to them? Rin swallowed hard. Her hands shook slightly. If I go, they may reject me again. If I hide, I may lose my only chance to speak to them. She looked at Aaron. I do not know what is right. You don't have to decide alone, Aaron said gently. Tell me what you feel. Rin took a slow breath. I feel fear, she admitted. But I also feel hope. I want to know why they came here. I want to understand what they think of me now, but I am afraid of the answer. Aaron nodded. Then we meet them together. If they welcome you, I will be happy for you. If they don't, we leave together. I won't let you stand alone. Rin stared at him, her eyes full of emotion. Why are you so kind to me? She whispered. Aaron smiled softly. Because you deserve kindness. For a long moment, Rin said nothing. She looked away toward the approaching figures. If they ask me to return with them, she said quietly, what will you do? I'll let you choose, Aaron replied. Because your freedom matters. Rin looked at him again. Her expression was full of conflict and hesitation. You would let me go? If it makes you happy, he answered. But I'll miss you. Something in her heart tightened and she stepped closer to him. Aaron, she whispered, being with you is the first time I have felt safe. She spoke carefully, choosing every word. If they ask me to leave you, I do not know if I can do that. The three figures in the distance grew closer. Rin took a deep breath. Aaron placed a steady hand on her shoulder. Whatever happens, he said, we face it. Rin nodded slowly. They walked down the hill together, step by step, toward the three members of her clan. Every step felt heavier. Every heartbeat felt louder. Every silent second felt like a moment that could change everything. And as they approached the group, Rin's heart whispered a fear she couldn't speak out loud. What if they ask me to choose? Rin and Aaron walked slowly down the hill, each step equal to a deep breath full of worry and hope. The air around them felt heavy, as if the valley itself waited to see what would happen. The three distant figures were becoming clearer now. They walked with steady movements, their heads high, their steps light yet careful. Their shapes were unmistakably from Rin's clan. Rin's heart beat fast, almost painfully. She wanted to run toward them and hide at the same time. All the old memories of her clan, warnings, judgments, cold words, mixed together with the hope that maybe this time things would be different. Aaron felt her shaking slightly. He did not touch her without permission, but he stepped close enough that she could feel his presence. His voice was calm. I'm right here. Rin nodded, though her eyes stayed fixed on the approaching group. Soon the three figures stopped a short distance away. They looked at Rin first, then at Aaron, then back at Rin. Their faces held surprise, confusion, and a hint of something else too, something Rin had trouble reading after so long. The one in the center stepped forward. He was older, his eyes dark and sharp, his posture strong. Rin recognized him immediately. Elder Vayan, she whispered. Aaron stayed quiet but alert. He studied their expressions, their stance, their hands. They did not draw any weapons, but they also didn't lower their guard. Rin, Elder Vayan said slowly, you are alive. The words held no warmth, but hearing her name from him again felt strange, almost unreal. Rin bowed her head slightly, a habit from her childhood. Yes, I survived. Her voice was small but steady. The elder's eyes moved to Aaron. And this human travels with you, he said. There was no anger in his tone, only a deep confusion. Yes, Rin answered quickly.
He helped me.
He saved me. Another member of the group, a young woman with pale markings on her face, stepped forward. Her voice was softer than the elder's. We thought you were gone, she said. When the attack happened, no one saw you after the explosion. Rin understood. They must have believed she was lost, maybe even trapped under the fallen ruins. They must have assumed she did not survive. I hid, Rin explained. I tried to return to the clan grounds, but everything changed. I was alone. And then... She looked at Aaron. He found me. Aaron met their gaze but did not speak unless needed. He respected that this moment belonged to Rin. Elder Vayan observed both of them for a long time. His eyes narrowed slightly, but not in anger, more in deep thought. You traveled far together, he said. Yes, Rin replied. He did not leave me behind. He shared food, sheltered me, and protected me. He treated me like I mattered. The young woman looked at Aaron with surprise. A human did this? Aaron stepped forward respectfully. I only did what anyone should do. She needed help. I helped, the elder tilted his head slightly. Most would have walked away, he said. Aaron answered simply, I'm not most. Rin felt a warm spark in her chest, but the elder's next words froze her completely. Rin, he said slowly, you may come back with us. Her breath caught. She had wanted to hear these words for so long, yet hearing them now filled her with fear instead of comfort. But there is something you must understand, Elder Vian continued. His gaze moved between Rin and Aaron. Humans are not part of our world. If you return to the clan, you must return alone. The wind in the valley went silent. Aaron did not speak. He knew this was the moment Rin feared. Rin felt her knees weaken. Alone? She whispered. It is our law, the elder said. We cannot allow outside beings to join us. It has never been allowed, and it cannot begin now. The young woman lowered her head. It is not personal, she added softly. It is tradition. Tradition. The same word that had pushed her out. The same word that had shaped every cold moment of her childhood. The same word that now stood like a stone wall between her and the only person who had ever shown her gentle care. Aaron finally spoke. Quiet, respectful, steady. Rin, he said, you don't have to choose yet. Think carefully. But Rin already felt the storm growing inside her. Elder Vayan spoke again. If you stay with the human, you cannot return to the clan. If you return to us, you must leave the human behind. His voice was calm, but the weight of his words pressed like iron inside Rin's chest. Rin looked at Aaron, her eyes filled with rising pain. Aaron, she whispered. Aaron gave her a small, honest smile. It's your choice. I won't force anything, but his heart tightened too. Rin turned back to her people. If I return, what will happen to me? You will be accepted, the elder answered. You will have a place, food, shelter. Your life will continue with your own kind. She nodded slowly. Those things mattered: safety, acceptance, home. She had longed for them all her life. But then she looked at Aaron again, Aaron who had shared his jacket with her when she was cold. Aaron who listened when she spoke quietly about her fears. Aaron who stood between her and danger without fear. Aaron who told her she deserved kindness. Her heart understood something painful and true. She had found more home in his presence than she had ever felt in her clan. The elder spoke again, firm but not unkind. Rin, choose. The valley felt smaller. The air grew tighter. Every sound disappeared. Rin closed her eyes and breathed deeply. She thought of her lonely childhood. She thought of hiding from her own people's judgment. She thought of waking up in the dirt after the attack, believing she would die alone. She thought of Aaron's voice calling her back to life. When she opened her eyes again, they were steady. I choose, she said softly. Aaron watched her, calm, but holding his breath. Elder Vayan waited. Rin stepped forward, her decision clear in her voice. I choose the one who stayed with me when I had no one. I choose the one who did not judge me. I choose Aaron. The elder's expression shifted, not anger, but surprise. Perhaps even respect, are you certain? He asked. Yes, Rin said firmly. I won't walk away from the person who gave me hope. Aaron felt his chest warm, but he did not move or speak. He let her words shine on their own. The young woman looked at Rin with soft sadness. We will miss you, she said quietly. But I understand. Elder Vayan bowed his head slightly. Your path is yours, he said. It is not the one we expected, but it is yours. Then to Aaron, he added, Human, take care of her. Aaron nodded once, respectfully. I will. The elder turned and the other two followed. They walked away across the valley, their figures slowly fading into the silver grass. Rin watched them go. Her eyes held sorrow but not regret. Aaron stepped beside her. Are you okay? He asked. Rin wiped a quiet tear from her face. It hurts, she admitted. But I feel free, Aaron nodded. Your choice was brave. Rin turned to him fully now. I did not choose you because I was afraid of them, she said softly. I chose you because you made me feel seen. Aaron's expression softened. Then I'm honored. For a moment they simply stood together, letting the wind brush past. The valley felt lighter now, as if it accepted her choice. Rin took a slow breath. What now? She asked. Aaron looked toward the mountains. Now, he said, we find a new path together. Rin stepped closer. Together, she repeated. They began walking side by side, leaving the old stone circle behind. The future ahead was uncertain, but it held something her old life never had: possibility. As they walked, Rin looked up at the sky, feeling something warm settle inside her chest. She had not been left behind. She had not been thrown away. She had not been forgotten. Instead, she had been chosen, and she had chosen too. And for the first time in her life, she felt her heart whisper a truth that made her steps steady and her spirit strong.